Well, hello and welcome to episode 21 of the SWR Darts Coaching Podcast with me, Sean, a PDPA Level 1 darts coach, JDC Level 2, Sight Right, accredited and darts site trained. What does that mean to you listening? Well, according to John Wild on Facebook, it means I spent a lot of money getting people's signatures because I could have easily just got them at exhibitions on all the certificates that I've got signed. Thanks, John. Right, episode 21. This is taking a bit of a detour, to be honest. The last episode was June, and at the end of the last episode, I did talk about the fact that I was aiming to get a couple of guests on. And I'm still wanting to do that. You know, Samson does darts from YouTube. I'd still love to get him on. He's a guy that I really would like to have a chat with. There's various other coaches that I'd love to now have a chat with, which I'm going to. Ricky from the DDO, he's got loads of different things going on now. So again, I'd love to have a chat with him. And that is my plan moving forward. I want to, the podcast has always been something I've just done in the background. It's never been something that I've really committed to, as you'll see back. But I'm going to make a conscious effort moving forward to try and at least get an episode out once a month, if not twice a month. But this episode today, episode 21, it is my traditional episode. So this month you may get 2 episodes, to be fair, but this is my traditional episode. This is the Bridlington episode. Yes. So if you scan back on my podcasts, I believe it's episode 14, was the one I did last year, where I talked about obviously going to the British Open. This year I'm going to split it into 2. I'm going to do my preview of the British Open. I'm going to talk about what I'm looking forward to. I'm going to give a beginner's guide in a way as well to the British Open. So anyone who's going for the first time, what to expect, where best to go, where best to eat, where best to drink. That's what this episode's going to be all about. So I hope you're going to enjoy this episode. If you're not going to the British Open this year, this episode might not be for you, to be honest. But if you are going to the British Open in Bridlington, in East Yorkshire, and this is your first time going, this episode might just be for you. So, the British Open weekend, or the British Open and Classic weekend, as I think it's better known to most, it is a WDF darts event. It's held every year up in Bridlington. It's been held in Bridlington, since I really started playing darts. So it's been there many years. I think this is the 50th year it's actually on. Whether it's been 50 years in Bridlington, I honestly couldn't tell you. But it's a fantastic darts knockout. It's on the WDF circuit, so obviously all the big players on that WDF circuit, they are earning big points. You get a lot of amateurs that go to this tournament. Just to see where they are. You get a lot of people who just go for, the fact that it's a weekend away, it's a weekend at the darts. It's really well supported. It's across 3 days as well. It's across the Friday, the Saturday and the Sunday. So the Friday's normally the trials. So I might have this wrong, so I apologise if I do. But I think the Friday's normally the pairs and the trials. So you get the trials for England, for representing England. So the people who are looking to play for international darts. And you get the pairs events on the Friday. Really well supported events as well. On the Saturday, it is the British Classic. So you've got the British Classic Open and the British Classic for the ladies. Again, really well supported event. Some very, very high quality players on show. Luke Little has played in that in the past. And then on the Sunday, it's the British Open. That's the one I always go for. I don't go for the others. I'm always there for the British Open. And the British Open, some years you can have, between 400 odd players there. Other years less. So year on year, the numbers differ. But as of this moment of recording, so I'm currently on the 9th of the 9th, there is 260 players in the British Open, in the actual Open section. There's 40 in the ladies section. On the Classic on the Saturday, there's 272 with 40 ladies. There's 31 youth players, and I think there's 85 pairs at the moment. So you can see it's well supported. Now, a lot of people won't go and support this event because it's a straight knockout. It is literally get in there, straight knockout. The first round is normally best of 7. I think it's normally best of 7. What a fantastic event. if you listen to my other podcast, like I say, episode 14, you'll get the structure of how it went last year. That'll give you an idea of what to expect if you're attending this year's British Open, in the sense of time for registration is normally dead early in the morning. You've normally got to be registered by like 9:30, but don't expect it to start until 11:30. Just don't expect it to start till late. Plenty of boards available. Not normally a lot of practice boards available. Yeah, really good event. Really well supported. An event I absolutely adore and love. But Bridlington, what a place. What a place. So, for those who've probably never been to Bridlington, those who are not sure where Bridlington is, Bridlington is on the East Coast. It's just in East Yorkshire. East Riding, I believe, is the exact area. It's north of Hull and just south of Scarborough. So you get the idea roughly the corner where it is. For me, it's a 3-hour drive. Once I come off the M62, it's then about an hour's drive from the M62 across country to Bridlington, and it takes me 2 hours to get to that point. So it's like I do it in a 3-stage journey. I will leave Stoke-on-Trent at 5 o'clock on the Friday morning with my aim to get to Brid for around 9 o'clock, to be in Wetherspoons Friday morning for breakfast about 9 o'clock. That's always been my aim. What is there to do in Bridlington, though? If you're a first-time person going to Bridlington, what is there to do? Well, quite a bit. If you're going with family, so if you're taking, if you're a darts player who's going up there and you're going for a little family break with your kids, there's loads for the kids. There's loads of amusements. There's a little fun park on the actual coast, on the beach, just off the beach, should I say, on the North Shore, I think it's classed as, or North Beach area. So there's like, loads of rides and attractions there. There's loads of shops. Eateries, yeah, there's loads. It's the coast, isn't it? Fish and chips are the best from the coast. There's no doubt about that. And the fish and chips in Bridlington are, to die for. You're not going to be bored in Bridlington. Let's put it that way. You're not going to have that issue. Now, if you're someone who likes a lot of culture as well, you've got Bridlington Old Town. So Bridlington main town centre itself, very hustly and bustly a little bit. But you've got the Old Town. So the Old Town's like just further out of Brid. There's a lot of quaint shops up there. Some really nice little eateries, and obviously some sort of art gallery type of shops and all that. There's a museum up there as well, a little old school museum. And then you've got the Priory Church around that area as well. Honestly, there's loads in Brid. The one I would highly recommend you to encourage you to do is on the Friday night, so on the 19th. It's just been confirmed about an hour ago. Bridlington Town are playing North Thereby in the FA Trophy. Now, I've been a Bridlington Town fan for many a year. I went to my first game at Brid. I don't know when it was, 2019, 2018, I think it was. And I've followed them ever since. Last season, I went to 3 games. This season, this will be my first game of the season that I'm going to, but I've got an advert in the programme. I love Bridlington Town Football Club. It's a proper non-league, proper community-based football club. So if you're at a loose end on the Friday night, head yourself up to Bridlington Town Football Club. You won't be disappointed. The football will be decent. Some good players this season we've got there. Mike Thomas has done a right good recruitment job. So yeah, again, that's my Friday night sorted. But what else is there to do in Brid? Well, let's be fair. If you're going Bridlington for the darts, you'll probably want to go find somewhere to play darts. That's a little bit of a given, I'm guessing. So what I am going to do in this episode is I'm going to list my top 10 favourite pubs to go and play darts in. I'm going to give you my notable mentions, and there's a few on there that I've never been in. So I've got a couple of new pubs to tick off this time. And I'm going to talk about some of the other pubs, one that I just won't go in there for a reason, and 3 other pubs that are really good venues for you to go. Now, most pubs, obviously, are going to let kids in, but please bear in mind that if I say, I think they let kids in, you get there and they don't, that's I don't take kids with me, so I can't comment on that. Most of the pubs I'll talk about do have dartboards, and I'll explain where I remember the dartboard to be. But that's not to say that dartboard's going to be available when you get there. Let's be fair, we've all walked in a pub that's got a dartboard and they've put a table in front of it, and because they get people coming in for meals in the daytime, so that then means you can't go and play darts on there a lot of the time anyway. But I'm going to talk about the pubs that I know you will. And obviously an honourable mention, anyone who knows me, who listens to this podcast, who knows me, will also know the spoon's there. It's a really nice Wetherspoons. I've got it graded at a 7.5 out of 10. They recently, a few years ago, brought the building next to it to expand the Wetherspoons. It gets rammed on a Saturday. So a Saturday afternoon, it will be rammed. But please stop the queue. Don't queue up behind someone else in a Wetherspoons. There's a bar for a reason. Stand along the bar. Please stand along the bar. Stop the queue. That's what I'm starting. Stop the queue. So, let's get into my top 10. These aren't really in order, to be honest. But these are my top 10 places in Bridlington to go and play darts.
Are you ready?
And number one is one of my favourite pubs in Bridlington. It is just one of my go-to pubs every time I'm there. And it's the George. Now, you can't go wrong with the George. The George is just down by the harbour. Okay, so it is on, let me just get this right, it is on Prince Street. Okay, as you walk in the George, the bar is to the right of you. There is a dartboard to the left over a fire. The fire's not on, it's not a live fire. They have an electronic scoreboard there as well. There's a little snug seating area in the window. There's plenty of seating around. And if you go to the back of the pub, there's a great view over the harbour. There's a pool table there, and there is one other dartboard. I think there might be two, I'm not sure, but there is normally another dartboard at the top end, which they sometimes do put up for the open weekend. But the George, it's just a traditional pub. You can't go wrong. The beer is absolutely spot on. No matter what you drink, they will have something for you in there. The staff are brilliant. Now, granted, it's been 6 months since I last went up there. So we know what the pub industry's like. People are moving around, people are leaving pubs and everything left, right and centre these days. But the staff that were in there last time were brilliant. They've always been friendly in there, they have. So if you're a darts player and you want to go play darts, there's always someone in the George to play. That's the one thing I've always noticed. Every time I go in the George, there is someone in there to play. Now, I have had the incident many years back. I think it was about 6 years ago, 7 maybe, where I went in the George and there was two lads playing darts on a Saturday afternoon, and I asked to put my name up and they said, no, we're playing each other. So I just went over and marked. Listen, it's poor etiquette. Someone wants a game of darts, let them put the name up, let them have a mark and play. You know what I'm on about there. I've talked about it on previous podcasts. Don't be that person who goes, no, just me and my mate are playing today. You can do one. Don't be that person, please. Let them put the name up, let them play. So, the George on Prince Street, great pub, lovely darts venue. I can't recommend that one highly enough.
Are you ready?
Next venue I'm going to sort of send you to is the Stirling Castle on Queen Street. Now, the Stirling Castle is a great pub if you want to go for a meal as well. So it's kind of like a restaurant, not a restauranty type pub, if you will, but it's a pub that serves food. But they have sports on in there. They've got, I think, 3 pool tables. Dartball wise, last time I went in, I could only see one. Now, as you walk into the Stirling Castle off the main road, the dartboard is at the back of the room onto the left-hand side. It's quite an enclosed dart throw as well. But it's a nice throw, electronic scoreboard and whiteboard is available as well. Now, in there, they used to have 2 boards round by the toilets as well, which I remember from ages ago. Whether they put them up at open weekend, I couldn't comment. I was told that there was going to be dartboards on the upper level. I don't know if that's ever happened. But the Stirling Castle, great pub. If you want to go in there and have a meal and a pint and then, have a chuck, that's a great venue to go. So that's the Stirling Castle. Look out for that one.
Are you ready?
Next one on my list is the Seabirds. Now, the Seabirds, to be fair, is quite out of town. Okay, so we're on the main road. We're on the main road out, which is Flamborough Road, the B1254. So it's quite far out of the town centre. Great little pub, though. Over the last few years when I've been going Bridlington, the Seabirds has never been open. And it was taken over a couple of years back. And last year I went in and I needed to tick it off to complete, at the time, what I thought was most of the pubs in Bridlington. But as you go in, dart throw on your left-hand side, bar was on the right, great selection of beers. But I went in late on a Saturday night and it was fairly dead, to be honest. So I managed to get on the dartboard and managed to get a good practice session in before the Sunday event. Again, ample parking there as well, and I think if you contact the pub, they can let you park overnight if you're in a camper van. So I don't know if that is still the case, because I have seen something on Facebook which says that the people that are running it now are only in there to the end of the month. But yeah, the Seabirds on Flamborough Road, just outside of the town centre. Fantastic pub, one I ticked off last year and one that I was really happy about ticking off. And I'll be back in there this year without a shadow of a doubt.
Are you ready?
Next one on my list is one that I frequent quite regular. It's not far from where my hotel is. I stop in the same hotel every year. So this one is very much a regular for me. And it's the Beaconsfield Arms. So again, the Beaconsfield Arms is just up from the Wetherspoons, past the main church, Holy Trinity, Bridlington. It's on the Flamborough Road again. Great pub. What a venue. I spent, not last year, the year before, I spent virtually the whole of the Saturday evening in there playing darts with the locals. So there's two areas in there. There's the sort of the lounge area on the front on the main road. There is a dartboard in there. It's tucked away in the corner by the window on the left hand side as you go in. It does have a laser line hockey. It didn't have any scoring equipment last year when I went in. That may have changed, I don't know. But in the main bar area there was a good dart throw down the top end of the bar. Really nice throw, scoreboard, everything, raised hockey. On a Saturday night, the pub gets quite a lot of people in, as it does on a Friday as well. So if you're going in there Saturday night, be prepared to possibly wait or maybe not even get onto the dartboard. But yeah, great throw, superb pint in there as well. I always say that. But the thing, what I'll say about the Beaconsfield Arms is that if you're in the side room, it's a laser hockey, or it was a laser hockey. They may have changed it. So I know for a fact that laser hockey had been knocked. It wasn't in the right position. But on a Saturday night, it does get packed in there. So be careful. Be warned, if you will. One to look at.
Are you ready?
Next one on my list is the Northcote Inn. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I can't really recall the Northcote Inn that well. And I know it's been a couple of years since I last went in there, so I'll be looking to drop back in this year just to have a look. But I do recall that they had 2 to 3 dartboards in there. I recall that. It was really good for a dart throw. But it's like a hotel-type pub as well. So the regulars, there'll be a lot of people that will be booked into that hotel who will probably be there for the darts weekend using the facilities. So you're going to have to probably, there's going to be nice snakes and waiting for the darts there. But from what I remember, it was a really, really good venue, good pub. But it has been a number of years since I went in and they've been a little bit hazy on that one. But I know the Northcote Inn, you can get a game of darts. So head to the Northcote Inn for that.
Are you ready?
Next one on my list, the South Cliff. If you've been to the WDF, or when it was the BDO even, the British Open, the British Classic, and you've played at the Spa, you will know the South Cliff. The South Cliff is right opposite the Spa. So the venue for the darts, the Spa Theatre, lovely venue as well. But right opposite is the South Cliff Inn. It's an interesting place to say the least, but it's an absolutely fantastic place. I know a lot of people who go across there and have a practice in there, especially if they're stopping in that hotel, because obviously you get the digital reminders of when your board call's coming in. B is really reasonable. It is really, really reasonable in there. My memory serves me, they had 2 boards in the actual bar area, and then they've got like an eatery area in the back of the building, and I think there's about 3 or 4 boards in there. One thing I will say about the South Cliff is you can also normally get, if you're a crib or a dominoes player, you can normally get a game of crib or dominoes in the South Cliff. So the South Cliff's definitely one to keep a lookout for. It's right opposite the venue at the Spa. Yeah, great pub, great venue. One definitely on my list. It's in my list without a shadow of a doubt.
Are you ready?
Next one on my list is the Hilderthorpe. Now, the Hilderthorpe is on the main road, just before you get to the Spa. So if you're walking around to the Spa, it's on Southcliffe Road. It's just literally on the corner of Bridge Street. So if you're coming along, you'll know where I'm roughly on about, where the big flats are, Southcliffe Gardens. Now, what I'm going to say is last year when I went in the Hilderthorpe, the dartboard wasn't up. So I went in on the Friday afternoon, and as you walk in the pub, you go to the left. Bar's right ahead of you as you go through the main door. Go to the left, and there's a little room to the side where the other side of the bar, and the dartboard's normally in there, but it wasn't up last year for some reason. I don't know why. I didn't go and ask. I just had my pint, and I moved on. But I would say you're guaranteed, if you ask, they will have a board that they'll probably put up. I'll be shocked if the board isn't up, to be honest to you. The locals in there are absolutely spot-on friendly people as well. That's the thing you'll notice with Bridlington. If you're a first-time traveller to Bridlington as well, what you'll notice is the people of Bridlington are brilliant. Yeah, don't get me wrong, there's always the odd wrong in everywhere you go in life, and I'll talk about one of them in later in this podcast. But the Hilderthorpe, wow, I remember going in there about 3, maybe 4 years ago. It was the one after COVID, and it was a Saturday night. And I only went in for a Swifton and a quick chuck on the board because I needed to tip the board off, sort of thing. And I think I ended up leaving about 2 in the morning. The locals are brilliant. So yeah, the Hilderthorpe, if the board's up, which hopefully it will be, great little pub, and it's near the venue, so it's walkable from the venue as well.
Are you ready?
Next one on my list is Goat Sports Bar. For those who may have been listening to this who are from Bridlington or that way, it's the old McDonald's. It used to be a McDonald's very, very, very many years ago. As I say, I've been going to Bridlington for nearly the last, at least 35 years of my life. So I've seen a lot of changes in Bridlington in that time, of venues and pubs and buildings and stuff. But yeah, Goat. So 3 years ago, my first time I went into Goat, the sports bar, and they had offers on that day. They were having offers on that day for the darts. So if you were at the darts, they were giving you a wristband, and you got a little bit of discount on your beer if you were drinking in there. Wonderful. Last year, that wasn't the case. So that was a shame in a way. But the dartboards in there are upstairs. So as you walk in, there's loads of tables downstairs, loads of TV screens. They show all the football, cricket. They show the NFL on a Sunday night. They'll put the NFL on. But upstairs, there's a little seating area. There's pool tables, and there's 3 dartboards upstairs. However, I have to put a warning out. I have to put a disclaimer warning out here. It's a concrete floor. All you've got is a mat. There's no scoring equipment. It's just 3 dartboards and a concrete floor. So the boards are normally really, really well used, really rough boards. They have been for the last few years. To be fair, last year when I went in, my sticker that I put on the dartboard 3 years ago was still there. I was stunned. But you could end up with snapped points if you have bounce outs, because the floor is solid concrete. So if you're getting a bounce out off a rough board, yeah, there's a high potential chance you're seeing snap points in there. So just a bit of a disclaimer from me more than anything, that if you're going in there, just be careful to play darts, because you could end up with snap points if you have bounce outs. But the pub itself is brilliant. Like I say, decent priced on the ale. It's like I say, it's a sports bar, so you get all the football on there and everything. Staff are, again, everywhere you go in Bridlington, they are super friendly, with the exception of one place. They are super friendly. So yeah, Goat Sports Bar, that is right in the town centre. So Goat is literally on the harbour. It's on the corner of Prince Street. Great views as well through the windows, if you will. Night time, yeah, it gets packed. It gets absolutely chocker in there. So I doubt you'll get a throw in there on a Friday or a Saturday night. I really don't. Sunday night you would, but Friday, Saturday night, I doubt you're getting a throw in Goat.
Are you ready?
Next up on my list, it's the main darts venue in Bridlington, and it's the 180 Lounge. Now, I said at the start, this is in no particular order. I went the 180 Lounge last year for the first time, and I've been back this year as well to do some coaching from the 180 Lounge. Richard, who runs the JDC and the vaults and stuff up there, top man, absolutely top bloke. They run on a Friday night a knockout, which unfortunately I can't attend this year now because Bridlington Town are playing. But Richard, I will try and pop in and see you, mate. Great place, unbelievable place. It's a bar. You know, they sell bottles and cans, and I think they've got some draft on. But there must be, if I'm going to say, at least 13 boards, if not more, in the venue, if not more. You have to go up a couple of sets of flights of stairs to get there. So anyone who struggles with stairs, I don't know if there's access. I couldn't comment, I apologise. But if you hit them up online, they will let you know. But yeah, great venue. Another superb venue. Great guys. You know, Rich knows his darts. Like I say, he runs the JDC. He's a JDC accredited coach, etc. I don't know if he's done the PDPA. I couldn't comment. But yeah, that is your darting venue. That is your darting venue for the Friday night. Their event that they're running is an ADC sanctioned event, I believe. So you can sign up through Darts Atlas. That will sell out. That will sell out. It used to be running, you know, they did run one at the Conservative Club a couple of years back. But this event it'll sell out. And it's a great sort of starting event for the weekend, if you will. If it weren't for the fact that Bridtown were playing, I'd have probably entered on the Friday night. But yeah, the 180 Lounge. So where's the 180 Lounge and when I'm talking about? So when I've talked about Goat and the George, it's basically on the next street along. It's on Cliff Street. So it's on the other side. You'll see a building called the Trawl and Victoria Sailors and Working Men's Club. And the 180 Lounge is above that building. So you go in through the door and then you go up two flights of stairs, as I say. And you come to the 180 Lounge. Fantastic venue, fantastic guys who, you know, like I say, who run it. If you are going to Bridlington, excuse me, if you are going to Bridlington and you can go to that event, please go support it. I don't know what their opening times are like, so I don't know if it's a walking off the street sort of job. And like on a Saturday, you'd have to go and you probably ask the question a little bit. But yeah, you guarantee, you know, if Saturday night, if it's open, which I think it will be. You guarantee some good darts, and if you can enter that tournament on the Friday, get in there. You won't regret that, let me assure you.
Are you ready?
Now, my next mention is a strange one, but it's a pub that is, again, outside of the town centre a little bit. It's on the way out to the old town, as I'll call it, and it's the Telegraph Inn. Now, the Telegraph Inn is a fantastic little pub on the main street. It is on Quay Road, I think it is, or Quarry Road, I don't know how you pronounce it. Now, they do have a dartboard in there. I've never used it. Yeah, I'm doing a thing about pubs and dartboards. I've never used the dartboard in the Telegraph. The Telegraph's the pub I go before the football. It's the pub I always go have a few pints in before I walk round to Queensgate to go watch the mighty Bridtown. But there is a dartboard in there. The only trouble is, every time I've seen it, it's not been accessible. So why am I putting it in this list? Well, I'm putting it in this list because, you know, it's a great little venue, and I do think that if you can get a throw on it, it will be really decent throw in there. But the pub itself is run brilliant. They've got a massive outside area, like a beer garden area, and like a stage at the bottom. So in fairness, you can go and sit in there, and if it's a nice day. I don't think under 18s are allowed though in there. I may be wrong. But again, you'd have to contact them and check. But yeah, what a great pub. The Telegraph. But yeah, why is it on this list? It's on this list because I know it and I've been into it quite regular. So that's why. So they're my 10 pubs, technically 9 I suppose in a way, that you can go and play a good game of darts in. You can go get a game of darts in these venues, and you know, they're the ones I recommend to folk. Now, I've got some notable mentions to come in as well on this part of the podcast. Okay, so my first notable mention is the Brunswick Hotel. Now, I've been in the Brunswick Hotel. I've never played darts in the Brunswick, but my understanding is that there is a darts room in the Brunswick. Okay, now again, I've never been on the boards. So the Brunswick Hotel is on the corner of Bridge Street and Manor Street, but it's like a sports bar, I believe, upstairs. I think you get access to it from Bridge Street, if my memory serves. I think it's called Bridge Street Sports Bar, and they've got dartboards. Now, I will be going in there this year to look at these dartboards because I've never been in there to play darts. I've been in the Brunswick Hotel. I've never been in the Bridge Street Sports Bar side. So again, I would like to say that I'd probably put that over the Telegraph a little bit, but I haven't played, there. So I suppose them two are the same in a way. The Conservative Club. Now, the Conservative Club, I don't know if you have to be a member to go in. I'm going to put that statement straight out. I think you do have to be a member to go in the Bridlington Conservative Club. However, they used to have dartboards in there, but I think you may have to be a member to get in the Bridlington Conservative Club, so I'll leave that one there. The Hook and Parrots. So the Hook and Parrot is a very interesting pub. That's all I'm going to say on the matter. It is on... It's basically... How do I describe it? It's Marlborough Terrace. It's on Marlborough Terrace, which is not far away from Wetherspoons. Now, the Hook and Parrot do have a dartboard, but every time I go in there, you can't get to the dartboard because it's just absolute mental. Your Friday night and Saturday night, if you want a late drink, bit of karaoke, bit of fun, bit of a laugh, the Hook and Parrot's where you go, to be fair. So, is it a darting venue? Not really. But it's certainly one that, I will mention. I'll put my notable mention on. But I believe there is a dartboard in there. So take it as you can. The New Inn. Now, the New Inn is one that I've not put in my main list. But the New Inn is in the square, in the town centre. Very, very popular pub. It's on Prince Street and Cross Street. It's on the corner of Prince Street and Cross Street. It's where the 180 Lounge is, opposite Goat. Now, they do have dartboards in there. They do have dartboards. I believe there's 3 dartboards in that pub. But the reason I never go in that pub is because they've always got karaoke on. And I just don't really want to be in a pub with karaoke a lot of the time. But I have played darts in there, and it is a really good venue if you can get to the dartboard. I've also been in that venue when I've gone in and people have put luggage in front of the dartboards because they've been dropped off on a coach or something. They've gone straight there for a few sherbets and they put the luggage in front of the dartboard so you can't even get access to the dartboards. So the New Inn, again, honourable mention, very honourable mention, gets really popular Friday, Saturday nights, really does. Another honourable mention, Bridlington Town Football Club. Yeah, Bridtown have got a board up. They have a board in the clubhouse, in their bar. And as I say, I will be in there Friday night. I will be assessing the players on their style, their stance, their posture. Of course I won't, but I will be going into there and have a chuck. But Bridtown, again, that's outside of the town centre, on the way out, right at the top end, really. It's about a 15-minute walk, 25 minutes for me because I'm fat, but it's on Queensgate. Which obviously the ground used to be called Queensgate. But yeah, dartboard at Bridtown Football Club. Now, 2 pubs I've got to tick off. I need to tick off. The Builders Arms and the Lansdowne. Now, I've not been in these 2 pubs. I've not been in the Builders Arms, and I'm certain I've not been in the Lansdowne. They are on Lansdowne Road. To where describe that, that's just up by the leisure centre, so up from Wetherspoons. I didn't know these pubs existed. Now, there is a Chinese on the corner of Lansdowne Road, which I always go to. Next door to that now is the Builders Arms, and then a bit further down is the Lansdowne. Both of them have dartboards. They play in the Bridlington Darts League. So I'm looking forward to ticking them pubs off. Always nice to go and tick some pubs off there. On the corner of there, now I don't know if this is still open or not, but it used to be called Blanco's. And Blanco's used to have a load of dartboards in there. Last year when I went in, it had obviously been in the middle of a refurb or something had happened. There was a pool table, that was it. And I was the only person in, bar some people who, I think were probably family of the people that run the place, maybe, I don't know. So, yeah, Blanco's is at the top end of the main drag. I don't think they have dartboards anymore. But if they do, I apologise if you go in there and they haven't. Great, well done. But round the corner from there, the Lansdowne and the Builders Arms, 2 venues that I'm looking to tick off this year. So I keep saying about there's one pub that I'm not going to mention on my list, and I'm going to talk about it. That's the Coachman. Now the Coachman is round by the train station. Okay, so I'll just get you the exact street. It's on Hilderthorpe Road, so it's near the Tesco, the B&M, and all that sort of palaver. Now I went in the Coachman last year. Couldn't get on the dartboards on the Friday. It was absolutely Sergio Ramos in there. They've got 2 or 3 dartboards in the back room available. Couldn't get on the dartboards. So this year when I went, I wanted to go and tip the dartboard off. So I walked in the pub, got my pint, went round to the other room. I asked the barman, I'm all right, go round to the other room to play darts. He went, yeah, no worries, mate, go for it. I went in the other room, and I just moved a table, probably 4 inches, if that, to the right-hand side, just so I could get at the throw. And a bloke came across to me, dead rude, and just had a right go at me. Who are you walking in here moving furniture? I don't walk into your place and move furniture. Don't you walk in here and move furniture? Made me feel really uncomfortable. At the time, I was just like, yeah, no worries, Guff. Apologies about that, mate. Didn't realise, we couldn't move furniture. I'd asked the guy if I was all right to play darts. I said, so I'm sorry, yeah, but you don't move furniture. I was like, right, sorry, apologies. So I finished my pint. I had a chuck. I hit a 180, which I needed to tip the dartboard off in the area for me. Didn't put a sticker on the board just because I didn't dare. Finished my pint, and then as I was walking out, he came over to me and started apologising to me for his attitude and stuff. And I was like, yeah, no worries, man, I'm not interested. I've had my drink. Do apologise that I've upset you, and I've left. Now, yeah, you can go in there and play darts, no doubt about it. There's going to be 3 dartboards, I think there is, and there'll be on that, on the open weekend. It's the first pub if you're coming off the trains. In a way, the Fat Badger's also across the road, but the Fat Badger hasn't got a dartboard. So yeah, the Coachman, you'll get a game of darts in there without a shadow of a doubt, but I don't recommend it due to the fact that I've had a poor experience in there. So that's just why I don't. The other pubs I want to mention just quickly finish off this podcast is the Fat Badger. So the Fat Badger is opposite the train station. So if you're coming via train to Brid, as you come out the train station, start walking down Quay Road, you'll come to the Fat Badger. Fat Badger, great little pub. Doesn't have a dartboard though, unfortunately. No dartboard in that pub. There is a pool table at the back. There was a famous viral video that went round of a lad who, the guy had hit their white ball and it bounced off and he flicked it up and flicked it into the corner of a pocket. That's that pub. Spot on pub though. Really nice beer. Great staff. Very much recommended if you just want a quiet pub. No darts. Fat Badger is the one for you. The Harbour Tavern, again going back down to the main town square. I haven't been in the Harbour Tavern for years. The Harbour Tavern used to be a little bit of a nightclubby type place when I was in my sort of teens and 20s going to Bridlington, shall we say. I'm old enough to remember Brown's nightclub in Bridlington. That's how old I am. But yeah, Harbour Tavern, really nice, place to go. I don't know what it's like. But I believe they show Sky and everything. They've got pool tables, but I do fear there is the karaoke option in there at times as well. The Apollo. So the Apollo is again on Prince Street. The Apollo's like a rival to a Wetherspoons, if you will. I've never been in. That used to be a nightclub back in the day for me. I haven't been in a few years. I believe they show sports in there. As I say, they match prices of Wetherspoons on certain things. They do food. I know people who say, yeah, it's really good in there. I just haven't been in for quite a long time. I may put my head in this year just to see what it's like. But across the road from there is the other pub that I will be frequenting, and that is the Three Brass Monkeys. I love this pub. I absolutely love this pub. If the Three Brass Monkeys had got dartboards in, I'd never leave. It's like Wetherspoons. If Wetherspoons had a dartboard in, I'd never leave. But the Three Brass Monkeys is an absolutely brilliant pub. Has sports on. Really good place to go. Some people say it's a bit, oh no, there's a lot of people, loud people, and that's not. Trust me, it's a great pub. Great service. No queuing at the bar. Everyone stands along the bar like you should do. Superb. Well done. Keep that up. Now, what the Three Brass Monkeys also has is a roof terrace. Now, if it's nice and they open it up, that is a fantastic seating area upstairs. I actually did a TikTok live last year, I think it was, from the roof terrace. And I will be doing TikTok lives again this year from Bridlington at some point. But yeah, 3 Brass Monkeys, really packed on a Friday, Saturday night, folks. It is Sergio Ramos more than anything on a Friday and Saturday night in the 3 Brass Monkeys. But again, on Prince Street, that little corridor there, you're laughing in a way. You've got the New Inn, you've got Goat, you've got Apollo, you've got 3 Brass Monkeys, you've got the George. You sport for pubs down in that little corner. So yeah, absolutely great place. Head down there. Like I say, I'll be in the 3 Brass Monkeys probably on the Sunday afternoon, chilling out on the Sunday afternoon after I've been knocked out at the darts, watching whoever's playing that Sunday afternoon on the match. That'll be my go-to place. I normally take my book and sit there and read my book, especially when I get on the roof terrace. It's a really great pub, really, really good pub, and highly recommended. So in a nutshell, that is my full review of places to go and play darts, venues to go and have a drink, go and have a bit of a social in Bridlington if you are attending the British Open, British Classic weekend, which is the 19th, 20th and 21st of September 2025, up in Bridlington, East Yorkshire, East Riding. Listen, like I say, I go every year. I've been going Bridlington since I was a kid. I used to go for the British National Dominoes, which you'll know if you listen to older podcasts. I like to do this video every year, and I will be doing my next episode of this podcast will be my Bridlington review. So I will be talking about how I found it, how I got on at the darts. I'm hoping to maybe grab a couple of people for some quotes while I'm there as well and have a chat with a couple of players. Who knows if I do? But yeah, Bridlington for the darts is a must, I feel, for any player who wants to see where they are with their game as well. This year is going to be an interesting one because there's more and more people playing the game now, and this one's accessible. The difference you'll find with this event though, and I think these type of events, is that it's straight knockout. So while I was talking with a guy a few weeks ago about this, and we were on about the mindset of a dart player. You go to the ADCs, you guaranteed your 5 games, as good as. So you're going to play your 5 games of darts, or 4, depending on how many you got in your group. So if you lose your first one, you can take that hit really. And an open knockout, you can't. So you go to Bridlington, you spend all your money, go to Bridlington, and you get drawn in that first round. You've got to be on point. Otherwise, that's your day over. And that's always the fear for a lot of players. It isn't for me anymore. It's been a few years since I got past the first round. So, I'm going there with an open mind as always. But also, I go for networking. I go for the little break, the chance to go back up to Bridlington and see some old faces and see some friends that I haven't, I get maybe see once a year. Get to see the football club and everything like that. If you're going to the British Open weekend and you see me, come and say hello. Come across. I'll have my dart shirts on. I may have my crew shirts on. I may have my Bridlington town top on. Come over, say hello to me if you recognise me. Buy me a pint. I have been known to give people advice and tips when they have brought me a alcoholic beverage. It's what I do. Again, please be kind with other darts players. If you are in a pub and you're on the dartboard and someone comes over and says, "Can I put my name up for a mark?" Don't be that person that goes, "No, me and my mate are playing." Let someone else have a game. Yeah, mark a game, mate, you can play a game. It's the right etiquette. And it's very rare you'll see anywhere else, that doesn't happen. But I know it can happen. We're all there for wanting to play darts. We go out with our mates. We don't really want to play against players who are better than us sometimes. But don't be that person. Also, if you're using the Wetherspoons, stop the queue. Don't queue behind one another. Use the bar. Utilise the bar. The bar staff know what they're doing. Please. You don't queue in any other pubs. That's what always makes me laugh. You don't queue in other pubs. It's only always in the Wetherspoons for some reason. But yeah, looking forward to Bridlington as always. So this has been my sort of dartboard, dart places to play review. There's a few places that I've got to add on to this list. If you're listening to this and you're going, "Oh, you haven't mentioned such and such place, they have a dartboard," let me know in the comments. Drop me a message over. Let me know of a venue I may have missed. What I'm going to try and do this year is I'm going to try and take as many photos and post them on my socials as I can of the boards that I use, where I am. If you are walking around Bridlington, you've come across a dartboard and you see an SWR darts coaching sticker, that means I've been there, I've played there, I've won there, and I've hit a 180 there. I went a little bit Cornwall there, I don't know why. So yeah, if you see my sticker, take a photo, send it me on socials as well. But that is this episode wrapped up. It's my Bridlington preview. Again, looking at the entries that we've got this year in the Open, there's some fantastic players on that list. As I say, you're not expecting anything else on there. There's some names that I recognise straight away just from my local area, from up the road in Cheshire. It's a tough field, and that's what it should be. That's what you want as a dart player as well. You don't want to go somewhere where it's going to be easy. You want to go in there and find it tough. I can see the names of people who beat me last year on there already, but that's not a problem for me. But yeah, if you are going to Bridlington, enjoy it, play well, keep your mind right, keep yourself hydrated. They're long days. They can be very, very long days. I guarantee it won't start on time. That is a guarantee from me. Just make sure that you don't waste darts. There's limited practice boards available, or there was the last few years. So make sure that if you're on a practice board, you've got purpose for what you're doing. Don't just waste darts. That's a common thing I see from a lot of players these days. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I really, really do. And as I say, if you see me, come over, say hello to me. And I'm always happy to chat with anyone about darts, about Bridlington itself, or if you catch me on the Saturday or the Sunday and Bridtown have lost on the Friday, I may just be moaning to you about Bridtown losing, but I'm very confident Bridtown are going to win Friday night in the FA Trophy. So yeah, looking forward to it. Folks, thank you very much for listening. You can find me across all the socials. Just search for SWR Darts Coaching. As I say, if you want to find out about coaching with me, visit my website, swrdartscoaching.co.uk. You can find all the information on there of how to go and get involved with coaching. I now offer online coaching as well. So for those people who listen to this podcast who are not from the UK or not from the North area or the Midlands area, I offer online darts coaching now as well. It's only on limited dates as I talk, but it will be expanding to further dates. And that is with me, a PDPA, JDC, Sight Right and Dartsight accredited, qualified and trained darts coach. Folks, thank you very much for listening as always. Let me know any comments you've got, and I will speak to you on the next one.